Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Energy Works podcast. This is Blaine. I have a solo episode today. And what I'm talking about today is one of those things that is so present in the way I move through the world, in the way I scan myself to see how I'm doing, just the habitual behaviors that I do all the time to take care of myself. They're so ingrained in me, I almost never talk about them. I almost forget that I'm doing them or that they can be a subject of a podcast or of a conversation, or maybe it's not something that everyone else does. And I thought of this as a podcast topic a couple of weeks ago. I was co-teaching part of a yoga teacher training, a 200-hour yoga teacher training for people to become new yoga teachers. And I came in to co-teach a part of the training on the energy body and energy medicine yoga. And one of the questions we got was about picking up other people's energy. And so it kind of brought it back into my awareness that how this all works may not be obvious for all of you. And sometimes you can walk around with energy that is not your own. Your energy body, like a magnet, can draw in other people's energies, and it can become a habit. If you're around someone quite a bit, their energy can become your energy. And this isn't woo-woo. It's science. It's a known thing because we are vibrational beings. And as simple as a guitar string, if there's a room full of guitars and a guitar string is plucked, another guitar with a string that's the same with that tautness will just start vibrating on its own, literally. Pluck one guitar string, another guitar string will start vibrating. That is how the vibrational energy works. Or the pendulum clocks in a room. They can all be swinging at different paces, but in not that much time, they'll all start swinging together. All of the swinging of the pendulum will sync up because of the vibration in the room. Or a tuning fork. Same as the guitar string, you can ting a tuning fork and another tuning fork nearby that's the same will just start vibrating. We are like that with the vibration of other people's energy. Our nervous systems are designed to pick up other people's energy. In polyvagal theory, it's called social engagement. And your vagus nerve picks up cues from the people around you. It can be even how fast or slow they're breathing, or their posture, or their tone, or their gestures. Your vagus nerve picks up on that, and you start co-regulating. This is also it can be called polyvagal theory. It can also be called co-regulation. We're designed to co-regulate with the people around us. It's also for our safety. If you can imagine, if you walk into a room and everyone is on high alert, everyone's quiet. You know, sometimes when people are on high alert, they'll kind of come up on their toes. They stop moving. If you walk in a room and everyone is doing that, no one's talking, everyone's just listening very intently, high alert, you're going to be like, whoa, I need to start listening, high alert. Something's going on here. This is co-regulation. It is safety. It is picking up on all the cues that are happening around you because we are social animals and we pick up on each other's cues, and it's important for our safety. We also have in our brain, it's called mirror neurons, and it's when we mimic other people. You can think of the baby who starts making the same faces that the mom makes, or the same faces that the dad makes, or their brother or their sister, when we're young, but our mirror neurons, we always have them. So I'm not going to say it's just when we're young, but it's very obvious in young people to see how they're mimicking everyone around them. And when they start speaking and what they do, it's the mirror neurons at work. But it happens our whole life. It's even fashion. If all of a sudden we see everyone around us wearing a certain type of sunglasses, then we think, oh, I want to wear those same sunglasses, mirror neurons, where we're saying, oh, this is what people are doing. I should do this too. So it's the vagus nerve, it's co-regulation, it's the mirror neurons. Even if you ever heard of heart math, our hearts have this electromagnetic field of energy around them that is putting out information that other people pick up. So that's a semi-long explanation on how tuning in and taking on somebody else's energy is a really common thing. So a question, if I am feeling off, I ask myself, is this feeling mine? Is this feeling mine? Or could have I picked up this feeling from someone else? And that is, like I said at the beginning, there are things I habitually do. I ask myself, is this feeling mine? If I'm feeling sad and I'm not, why am I sad, right? Is this feeling mine? If I'm feeling stressed, anxious, emotional, is this feeling mine? And so I can start to differentiate, because there is a real difference between my authentic feeling, my authentic vibration, my authentic energy, and what I have taken on from other people. The first time I really recognized this was years ago. I owned my own yoga studio, and I had recently started studying energy in the way that I have now deeply studied it. So energy was in my awareness. I was learning more and more about it. So I was teaching a yoga class. It was before a class started, people started coming in the room, and a student came in the room who was also a yoga teacher. She was a yoga teacher who worked for me in my studio, and she had shown up to take my class that day. And as soon as she walked in the room, I knew something was off. And I kept my eye on her during class, and I could tell by her movements, her face, everything about her. I was like, there's something wrong with her. Like, she is carrying some emotion in her body. And so I tried to hold space for her really well in the class. I was aware of her. I kept my eyes on her. I actually modified what I was doing for the entire class a little bit in an attempt to try to use some yoga and breath work and energy work to help her. And the class was over, and I was cleaning up the yoga studio, and I did not feel good. I felt heavy. I felt like there was a brick in my stomach. I felt some pain in the back of my neck. I felt like I needed a nap, which is very rare for me, especially right after I've been teaching a class. I'm usually quite energized. And it's the first time, I'm sure it's not the first time it ever happened, but it's the first time that I could clearly see that the way I was feeling in that moment, it wasn't mine. I had picked that up from her. The feeling was not mine. Another fun thing with energy to think about is, when you walk in a room and the room is tense, and you can feel the tension in the room, even if you haven't witnessed anything that's going on. Maybe no one's even talking at that exact moment. You just know there is tension in this room, right? How do you know that? Like, how do you know? Your energy knows. And there have been studies done. Dr. Ellen Langer at Harvard University has done studies around meditation. You may have heard me talk about this before, because I absolutely love these studies. They are objective studies where they have two rooms, and in one room, there's a lot of anger and chaos and difficult discussions and stress. In another room, there's a group of people quietly, they're not just people, professional meditators, quietly meditating. And then both rooms clear out. Then they have two more groups of professional meditators enter those two rooms. So one group is entering the room that had just been full of people quietly meditating. Another group is entering a room that had just been full of anger and chaos and stress. It's crazy. They're empty rooms. These people have no idea what they're doing. They were just told they're professional meditators who were told to go meditate. The meditators who go into the room that had previously been full of meditators very quickly and easily drop into meditation. You know, they fill out their surveys after their meditation about what happened. The other room that had been full of chaos, the professional meditators go in there, and in their surveys, they say they couldn't drop in, they couldn't focus. It hasn't been that hard for them to meditate in a long time. And all they did was walk in an empty room. So, I mean, really, these energies are so much beyond the physical boundaries of the body, and they affect us. So, asking yourself when you feel off, is this really mine, is a great habitual thing to get into. And then if you're carrying energy that is not yours, I'm going to give you a few things that you can do here. First of all, shake. Shake your whole body. Just shake your arms, shake your legs, shake your head, shake your body, shake everything. Just shake around. It's a really great way to just shake off energy. Also, dancing. Dancing is really similar to shaking. You can turn on music or not turn on music, but just kind of like jam out with your body dancing around. If that's more fun for you than shaking, that can be another way that you shake off your energy. The crown pull is an Eden energy medicine technique. And I'm going to describe it if you're on the audio version of this podcast and you're not watching the YouTube video. But you can always come to the YouTube video if you want to see me demonstrate these things. The crown pull is, you imagine that you have a seam running down your head. So basically from between your eyebrows, up over the crown of the head, all the way to the center of the back of the neck. Pretend like there's a seam there. Then you take your fingers from each hand and you put them like you're pressing them in the crack or a seam. So I'm starting right in the center of my forehead, pressing my fingers in a little bit and pulling out, dragging my skin to my temples. And I'm just going to work across the whole top of the head. So it's like I have this pretend seam and I press my fingertips in the center of the head and I start pulling out, like I'm trying to pull the seam apart. And just do it all the way to the back of the head, down to the back of the neck, even the neck. You can kind of massage the back of the neck a little bit and then shake off your hands. It's a great way to clear the energy that can collect not only in your mind, but around your head. And then again, shake off the hands. The shaking is really good. The zip up is after you've done your shaking and you've done your crown pull, you can bring both hands to the front of the pubic bone, pull both hands up the center of the body, up the center of the face, over the head, press the palms of your hands towards the ceiling, and then circle sweep your arms down. So you can do that a few times. And alternatively, you can just zip from pubic bone to mouth. Pubic bone to mouth. Just pull your fingers from your pubic bone to your mouth. The hook up, middle finger of one hand in your belly button, middle finger of the other between your eyebrows, press in with both hands, pull up with both hands, and take a few breaths there. So that's a little routine you can do that can help move some energy and protect you from taking on other energy. I also want to share with you a breath work that I do when I'm in this situation. It's called the physiological sigh. There was a study at Stanford University where they studied a whole bunch of different breath works, and they found this one to be the most effective for basically pressing stress and energy out of your body. So how it works, it's 2 inhales and 1 exhale. You take a deep inhale through your nose, and you inhale as much air as you can through the nose. Then you take one more little sip of air through the nose, one more little sniff, and then you open your mouth and do a big exhale out the mouth. So inhale through the nose as much as you can, one more little sniff of air, and then exhale through the mouth, one long exhale. So you can sit and do that. You can set a timer, do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or even not set a timer and maybe do it 10 times. That's a really great breath work to really bring your system back into the coherent vibration that is you, and get rid of this other vibrational energy that is not you. So, if you're someone, I want to add this to, if you're someone who is an energy healer and you work with someone on a table, it could be massage, it could be Eden energy medicine, it could be Reiki, it could be any other hands-on technique. When your client leaves, if you feel like you've picked up their energy, go to the bathroom and wash your hands with cold water all the way up to the elbows, and then dry them off, because our hands and our arms are quite magnetic. And so cold water, hands all the way up to the elbows, dry it off, can be a nice way to cleanse yourself. Everything I just did are nice ways of cleansing out energy you've picked up, but also protecting yourself from it happening again. Additionally, you want to stay grounded. Massage the soles of your feet a lot, be out in nature, walk barefoot outdoors on the earth. All of the ways that you have, the techniques you use to stay grounded, you want to use those all of the time, because the more grounded you are, the more connected you are to earth, then the less energy you'll potentially pick up and the easier it will be for you to shake it off. Habitual things you can do so you don't pick up people's energy in the first place is the zip up and the hook up. So I mentioned these before. The zip up, you can take your hands from pubic bone to mouth, or pubic bone to mouth up overhead and circle sweep down. You can do that 3 to 5 times. And then the hook up, belly button and third eye, press your middle fingers in with both hands, pull up with both hands, and take some breaths. Regularly throughout your day, doing zip ups, hook ups, and staying grounded will really help your energy field, your aura, your energetic spacesuit, stay more robust and protect you from these energies coming in and becoming your own. I want to touch, before I wrap up, on a few other ways that you can protect yourself. One is physical boundaries. Who are the people who tend to negatively affect your energy? And do you allow yourself to be in their presence? And so, are there places you go or groups that you're in or anything like that? If they're causing you to pick up negative energy that's shifting your own vibration, can you remove yourself and not expose yourself, just physically not put yourself in those situations as much? Time boundaries. If you do need to put yourself in the situations, can you limit the amount of time that you spend? If there's certain people you need to see them, can you limit the amount of time that you spend with them? And emotional boundaries. If there are topics or subjects that when you engage in, you start to feel that you're taking on negative energy, can you create some rules? Can you create some emotional boundaries that help you protect yourself? And just pay attention. Pay attention to what people or places leave you feeling drained or put you in a situation that suddenly you're carrying around something that's not yours. The more you do it, the more you ask yourself, is this really mine? The more you do these techniques, then the more that you can really move through the world with your own energetic vibration and not have it so affected by the other vibrations around you. That is it for today, Energy Entanglement. If you have any thoughts or questions or comments, please leave them in the comments on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, however you are taking this podcast in. It's been fun to talk about. It's really the first time outside of a teacher training I've talked about it in this way. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time on Energy Works.